Oh, goodness. Good morning. We got a track workout today. It's cold, it's windy, it's raining, and this is probably going to suck, but we're going to do it anyways. Today's workout, one of my goals is to try and get faster. I feel like I've been running zone 2, like everyone's saying, a lot, and have not really seen crazy amount of improvements, maybe a few seconds off my time, but I still feel like heavy and I still feel pretty slow. So workout wise, we're gonna be rocking 800 meter repeats today, 1 mile warm up. I've done my stretching and stuff already. We got 8 by 800 meter repeats, so it's about 4 miles, maybe 5 miles with my recovery in between, and then a mile cool down. Probably should take about an hour or so, but hopefully with this kind of workout, implementing it more at a much higher pace than what I'm used to, we'll get my body used to it and hopefully be able to hold lower paces for longer periods of time. And then after this, we can go get a quick rundown of how I fuel for recovery, what I eat for my breakfast, just to make sure I'm getting all the nutrients and stuff that I need to fuel all these workouts, especially since I'm doing like 2 days. But yeah, enough talking. This is gonna suck. I already know going into it. It is cold as hell outside and windy, but that's not an excuse. So let's go. Alrighty, workout is done, and that was a doozy. That was fun, I will say, but that also really sucked. After like the first 3 intervals, my glutes were just shredded already. I started off with like a 6:30 pace, I believe, somewhere around there. And then after that 3rd or 4th one, I fell all the way down to like a 7:15, which I guess like isn't bad. My easy pace is like 9 something. Speed bump. Easy pace is like 9 something. So I guess that's like pretty good. But it was hard. That's all I gotta say. It was very difficult. But I think adding that in to my workouts, to my Ironman prep, is gonna be super beneficial. Being able to hold speeds at like a 7-minute pace and eventually do it comfortably, but we just ain't there yet. But that's all part of the process. So we're gonna go get some grub, eat some food, recover, and not sure exactly what we have planned. I'm cooked, I'm tired, but it felt good. Quick little tip, actually. If you guys are filming out there, making reels, YouTubes, whatever, even if you're not looking for specific audio clips or whatever, just hook your mic up no matter what, because you'll get some cool like ambient sound and like the footsteps and stuff that are sometimes just hard to replicate. And if you're getting into like sound design and a bunch of that stuff, it'll help be able to just pull a little bit from that kind of stuff. So if you're not using a mic or you don't have a mic, invest in one. Let's go eat. Peace. Look how lucky I get to be. Finished up a speed workout. This little lady, say hello to YouTube.
Hi.
This little lady made me such a nice breakfast. We got protein French toast, 3 eggs, egg whites, and pineapple.
The laundry is folded and the towels in there.
And laundry's folded. We just had first bites. Delectable.
That was a great.
That's how I feel.
noise.
That's how it feels. And we're gonna start a series of cooking with Rachel. Because
of Kevin.
Yeah, shout out Kevin. But this is bomb. Where'd your coffee cake go? You finished it?
No, I threw away the last piece.
Oh.
Okay,
well, she also made really good coffee cake. We're gonna have to start putting you on the can. Give us a quick little rundown of the toast.
Okay, well, Ben enjoys his breakfast. This recipe, I think I might have gotten it on TikTok, but like I've had it since 2020 because I made this when I was living at home with my parents. Yeah. The ingredients are, it serves 3 people, so you can do with that what you will if you want to make it yourself.
Oh, it's hot. You got extra here.
Crap, that is in the oven. Okay, so you'll want to get like a pan, and you take 9 slices of any of those like delightful breads that are like 45 calories a slice, and then you rip those up and put it in the pan and just put it in the oven while it's preheating to 350 degrees, and then you take it out like once the oven's preheated so that they get a little bit dried up so you don't have like soggy toast. In a separate bowl, you do 4 eggs, 40 milliliters of unsweetened vanilla almond milk, but I just used Fairlife because we didn't have that and it worked just fine. Then 30 milliliters of any sugar-free maple syrup. Then I did about 6 grams of cinnamon, but honestly, I just kind of eyeballed it. Vanilla bean paste, and I did a tablespoon of it. And then you do 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, and you put it back in the oven at 350 for 20 to 25 minutes, and then you enjoy.
The grandpa pill container, we got a bunch of magnesium, multivitamin, turmeric, krill oil, and I usually have some D3 in here as well, all from Transparent Labs, 10% off with the code.
Stay tuned for more recipes.
Okay, bye. All right, good morning, everybody. We are back. We have a nice cycle road bike workout before we start work for the day. It's about 7 o'clock, so it's pretty early, but nothing too crazy. For our fuel, we got the carb powder from Transparent Labs, which is 25 grams of carbs, and then had banana, which is also about 25. Have about 50 grams of carbs for this workout, plus the hydrate for 500 milligrams. Let's see actually how much we got. It's about 500 grams of sodium electrolytes with some magnesium, potassium, other added benefits in there. But during these bikes, I sweat a ton, so I always make sure to have at least 1 to 2 scoops of that. These morning workouts are always a struggle for me, but they're also the most rewarding, I think, in a way, because once you're done, you've kind of proven to yourself that you're capable of doing it. It's super easy to stay in bed, just hit the alarm and not really get up just because you're being lazy or whatever it may be. But even if you're tired, you wake up and you do your workout, you stick to the plan, you do what you're supposed to be doing, you feel more accomplished, sets everything up better for the day. Honestly, your mood, your productivity, everything, your day is just going to be better getting this one thing done. So let's go set the bike up, get into this workout. We'll see what Zwift has for us today, and we'll chat later. Even already, this is so hard. We'll see if I can hold this power, but I'm gonna try to stay optimistic, but I don't know if I can hold 240 for 12 minutes here. Minutes at 240 watts, and I bumped it down to 210 because there's one thing that I'm really struggling with, and it's just keeping a higher cadence into these higher wattages where my legs just can't move that fast yet. So in the trainer, to compensate for that, it'll increase the resistance. And then with the increased resistance, it's like I'm fighting up a 10% incline for 12 minutes straight at a super high wattage where I simply can't hold that for 12 whole minutes. So what I've been doing is trying to just hold the cadence as good as I can. If I need to, I'll keep the workout going in Zwift, but turn off the resistance and bike at like 150 where my rest is a little bit for like a minute, and then get back into it. So I'm just breaking up the intervals a little. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't be able to finish the workout, and I'd rather do something than do nothing. But yeah, we have 2 more 12-minute intervals with a little bit of rest in between. See you on the other side. All right, workout's done, and look how absolutely drenched. Whoa. My pants have changed colors. Something about the bike is it'll always make me sweat like absolute crazy. I usually have, or I will have, another scoop of those electrolytes just because of how much water and sodium I'm losing. One thing I want to talk about real quick is how easy it is just to skip like these morning early workouts and get up early, but after a while it kind of becomes peaceful a little bit. It's kind of just you in your own world. Another thing is, especially with training and trying to follow a specific program, reach the goal of becoming an Ironman one day, is, I've said in the past, but I have 2 jobs. My 9 to 5, I work with the Minnesota Timberwolves, and then I'm doing freelance video on the side. So even though these morning workouts suck and I'm tired and not sleep deprived, but maybe didn't get the best sleep, it's something that's necessary to do in order to reach that goal. I have to be a good employee. I have to be a good employee for my work, for my clients. I have to be a good boyfriend to my girlfriend, and just getting this stuff done when people are asleep really frees up time in the afternoon or just the rest of the day to pay attention to those other things. You really are a product of your habits and a product of your excuses. If you wake up one day and say, I just don't feel like doing it, it's okay to skip.
to get out? What's going to stop you from skipping the next 5 workouts, the next 10, and things kind of snowball? But if, even when you're tired, if you make a habit of waking up at 5:30, 6:30, whatever fits your schedule, if you make a habit to do those things, to hit those achievements, to hit those goals, then in a month or 2 months, it's going to be a part of your lifestyle. It's going to be a part of who you are. You're not going to allow yourself to skip these daily bricks that you need to lay in order to get to where you want to go. The bike has been one of my most challenging things, I think, in this Ironman prep. A lot of people say it's swimming, and yes, swimming was hard at the beginning, but I think I got a dial on it. But the cadence, the power output, I've never really biked professionally or as a sport, so this is super challenging. So in order to get to where I want to go, these morning sessions are absolutely crucial. With that said, I have to get to work because it's coming up on our time. Make some breakfast. I'll let you guys think about your choices, what you guys are doing, what habits you're doing, what excuses you're making, and we can chat and reflect on where we are when I come back. I gotta give a quick shout out to Opal, if you guys can see that. Not sponsored at all, but one of my goals has been to limit screen time a bit more, because throughout the day I feel like I'm just wasting too much time. Let me close this for a sec. Hopefully that's better. I've just been spending too much time on my phone. I think screen time sitting at like 4 or 5 hours a day, probably like 2 to 3 months ago, or maybe not, like 1 to 2 months. But I saw from Joel, he's been using this, so I downloaded it, and it's probably brought it down to like 2 or 3 hours a day, which isn't great, but it's also not bad. It's an improvement. Today's a very social world, so I'd like it to be lower, but probably not ever going to be at 0. But using it more as a tool rather than something to distract myself with, where I feel like if I'm scrolling too much or just wasting time on there, my creativity drops, productivity drops, everything kind of just goes downhill. Been trying to use that more lately, and so far I've been liking it. I've caught myself a few times where it'll say, "Oop, you hit your limit," or like your 15-minute break is done or whatever. And I will say, it's kind of annoying, but that's kind of what forming a new habit is like a little bit, where it's breaking a pattern. It's hard especially when you're doom scrolling. Very, very easy. There's no end in sight. It's very easy to keep going and just swiping boom, 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 boom. Nothing's going to change, when that time could be spent towards something that's going to benefit you, whether that's me filming stuff, making some videos, something I'm passionate about, working on client videos, spending time with friends, hanging out with my girlfriend, all those things. So if you guys are struggling with screen time, you're not sure really how to break a habit, check it out. It's free, not sponsored, just something I've been liking recently. And just check it out, see if it'll help you. If you didn't know, why would you know? You don't know who she is. This is Rachel, my girlfriend, and she cuts hair. So today, we're getting a little frame up. First impressions, how we looking. I think you look really good. As the wise words of this lady, She said she ate.
I think for my first attempt at a haircut like this, that it looks pretty nice.
Yeah, I think it looks really good. Alright. Got it. Alright, we were back
from the haircuts, time for a quick little run. Actually, I just moved out of the way. We got some New Balance Rebel 4s. Let me grab them quick. We got some New Balances, which look absolutely insane. I wanted something flashy. We got a bright orange. I tested these out yesterday, and it was probably one of like the best it runs. It was only a 5K, but my heart rate was only like 134, which is the lowest it's ever been. And I'm not crediting the shoes for that, but just in general, it was a really good run, but the shoes felt really good too. So we're gonna test these out, keep breaking them in a little bit today on the treadmill. I've been using the Garmin Coach just for my running stuff, so I don't have to do more planning than I already do, and it's been really easy. I'm gonna go grab my phone, show you the workout. So, workout is goal pace repeats. So it'll be a speed workout today. We got a 5-minute warm up, 4 by 30-second runs with a high cadence. It's saying 150 to 200. So that's just getting your feet moving super fast. Then we got 30 seconds recovery in between those laps. Then we move on to something they call a glider drill, which I've never done, but you're supposed to transition smoothly from a walk to a jog to a run, and then all the way back down to a walk. So it's kind of like a little bit of a hill. That'll be kind of interesting to experience. And then the hard part of the workout, I did 800-meter repeats for the first time for the first run, but we're doing this today again on the treadmill. So we have 5 by 800-meter repeats at about a 7:40 pace it has me. I'm gonna try, I think I can beat that. When I was on the track, I think I was at like 3 minutes and 10 or something around there. But we'll see how that goes, especially treadmill could be different in a 5-minute cool down. So maybe like 5-ish miles of speed work today. For fuel, it's getting kind of late. It's like 6:30, getting close to dinner, but I don't want to have anything too big before a workout. So we're gonna have some carb powder from TL, plus the hydrate for some electrolytes, the classic stack. Down some of that, lace up the shoes, go hit the run, call it a day.
Get your mind to work and work and work and work, and think
Alright, we're back from the run. First off, shout out to this lady. We've been talking about the baked goods. Look at this.
It's half gone.
Got some kind of banana bread with a nice little crust on top. Half of it's, a little crumble on top. Half of it's gone. Might be gone tonight. Shout out. Next up on the agenda, run notes. First off, for run, these guys, look at that height. Feel really good. Hopefully they feel good outside too, but I've only done 2 treadmill runs. Let's see what we're working with on some stats here. 5.5 miles, and this was a speed workout, so paces are a little different, but average pace was 9:40. We did some race pace intervals, and that was about 7:30 pace. And I gotta say, I've been seeing some crazy progress even this last week. It feels like you're stuck for so long, and then all of a sudden you just do this, and I'm sure it'll level out again, but just keep riding the wave. I've never had my heart rate below 140 on my easy runs, or on my easy pace, and yesterday, like I said, it was 135. Average heart rate on here was 132. So that comes from some of like the resting paces where I'm just jogging, but cardio health is going up like crazy. Excited just for where this sport is kind of taking us. And then next up is some recovery fuel. We've been making this ever since Arizona, been obsessed.